Coverage continues right now. The arguments in today's arraignments focus on bail and the conditions of release. Many defendants will rely on bail bondsmen, especially for those larger amounts. We're talking millions of dollars here. For more on how a bail bondsman operates, let's check in with Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Mike Savino. He is breaking this down for us tonight. Mike?
Yes, Mark, I talked with a couple of bail bondsmen here in Manchester, and they explained it basically like this, that they provide insurance for people who can't afford bail on their own.
If you were to sum up our job into one sentence, our job is to ensure that people go to court.
Fotis Dulos, former girlfriend Michelle Draconis, and friend Kent Mawhinney were arraigned in Stamford Court today. One thing that often happens at arraignment is arguments over bail and other conditions of release.
The amount of the bond must also match the gravity of the offenses charged. I believe that the bond at $6 million is appropriate.
Today, a judge maintained bonds of $6 million for Dulos and $2 million for Mawhinney. He dropped Draconis' bond to $1.5 million because she is cooperating. When setting bail, judges consider whether someone's a flight risk. Bail is supposed to consider whether they come to court. Next is whether the defendant is a risk to public safety. And judges will consider the evidence, often when evaluating flight risk. And lawyers will also focus on those criteria.
As to the strengths of the state's case, I think the state is still groping in the dark, grasping at straws.
So what happens when defendants can't afford bail? In Connecticut, they can go to a bail bondsman.
Basically, what the bond is when I bond someone out. I take responsibility for that person to show up to every court date to the end of the case.
The state sets minimum fees bondsmen can charge. Defendants have to pay at least 10% for bonds at or below $5,000. That drops to 7% for any portion of bail over $5,000. The state also allows for payment plans. Defendants have to put down at least 35% of the required payment. Bondsmen can ask defendants to show an ability to pay and to put up collateral. Bondsmen say their job is to make sure defendants show up to court. Otherwise, they have to pay the full bond amount.
But if the person doesn't go to court, I'm either going to pay that bond or actively search that person and bring them back.
So what's the strangest thing anyone's put up for collateral?
The most bizarre thing that I received was a ring that was a family heirloom, and then the individual that gave it to us happened to pass away in jail.
Now, people will often use bail and bond interchangeably in conversation, but that also happens within laws. One bondsman telling me that from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, they'll use those words interchangeably as well. And even here in Connecticut, they make references to both in the laws. Reporting live from Manchester, Mike Savino, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.